video for today. This is really urgent. We have to talk about the brand new MTA press releases that came out today for Thursday, January 3rd, 2019. One press release is about a completion of a new Port Washington substation. The other is very important, which I'm going to save it for last because it's very long and lengthy, and it is about the L train shutdown. An important announcement was made earlier today by Governor Andrew Cuomo about the L train shutdown. So, first thing we're going to talk about is the Long Island Railroad has completed a new Port Washington substation. This replacement will ensure continued reliability of the Port Washington branch and will enable enhanced service with more robust power supply. Long Island Railroad President Philip Bing today announced that the Long Island Railroad had completed work to replace the Port Washington electrical substation on time and on budget. The new substation, which will be built at a cost of $26.2 million, will replace an earlier brick-and-mortar substation that had been in service for more than 30 years and was beyond its useful life. The new substation will ensure the continued reliability of the Port Washington branch train service by maintaining a robust power system for the electrified third rail that provides the traction power that moves trains and keeps them lit and temperature controlled. With great capacity, the new substation will enable the anticipated growth in train service that is expected to coincide with the start of Long Island Railroad to Grand Central Terminal in 2022. This new substation is located at the intersection of Davis and Bailey's Avenue in Port Washington. This substation is the first of 14 substations to be replaced or rebuilt throughout the Long Island Railroad's modernization project, a $6.6 million program which was called by Governor Andrew Cuomo along with previous Long Island Railroad President Patrick Nowakowski to rebuild, replace, and renew components of the Long Island Railroad to foster Long Island's economic growth for generations to come. The project will include 100 capital projects to renew, replace, and rebuild bridges, railroad crossings, parking stations, and other infrastructure and expand the system. Philip Bing today said, "Our Long Island Railroad modernization program is transforming the railroad to enable more reliable and more frequent service that will underpin 21st century economic growth of Long Island. Many of the projects in this program involve critical behind-the-scenes infrastructure that isn't normally seen by the customer. This new electrical substation is one such unsung but critical piece of the railroad infrastructure that will improve our service reliability." Other substations being renewed are Meadowbrook, which is due to be completed next year in 2020, with the option for Belmore, which are due to be completed by 2022. Additionally, new substations will include Cobb Place, Flower Park, Hicksville, Merlon Avenue, Mineola, Newcastle, New Hyde Park, and Westbury, which are in preliminary design as part of the main line's third track expansion project. The work to replace the Port Washington substation began back in October of 2016. The prime contractor was Myers Controlled Power of North Canton, Ohio. Once again, the contract was awarded by previous Long Island Railroad President Patrick Nowakowski, who resigned his position back in April of 2018, and that's why, of course, that's why we have Philip Bing now. But anyhow, this is more urgent. Before I move on, just want to say that's excellent news on the railroad's behalf. Let's hope that these desperately needed substations can finally get done on the main line because they need major overhaul immediately. Alright, so here's the big news that happened shortly after 1 o'clock Eastern today. And that was, of course, the MTA announcing the L train shutdown has been averted. So here's what we know right now. The MTA has accepted recommendations of expert panel that L train tunnel could be repaired while service continues to operate. Report by engineering experts from Columbia and Cornell engineering schools includes a series of recommendations to the MTA that would employ innovative techniques to streamline the scope and timeline of the tunnel repair project. MTA has confirmed recommendations can be achieved. Weekday service would remain in full operation. Only weekend and nighttime closures of one tube at a time with trains running in both directions. Project can be completed in approximately 15 to 20 months. So let's do the math here for just a second. The 15-month was supposed to be July of 2020. You could be looking at another additional 5 months, and that would be August, September, October, November, December. So it's possible by December of 2020, or maybe even earlier, we don't know, that we could have this finally done. And I got to give the MTA a big round of applause for doing this. I'm actually in favor of this because you do not need peak travel time to be disrupted. This is excellent news. This has been averted. Thank goodness. I know some people are going to complain about the weekends, but, too bad. Too bad. I'm sorry, but this has to be done. No exceptions. And if it has to be done overnight, too bad. I don't want to hear people complain. You need the service during peak travel times. And the big benefit of this is going to be off-peak travel in the morning and the afternoon on weekdays is not going to be impacted by this. And I'll have to figure out my March agenda, but that's not important at the moment. Okay, let's see what we have to read today. Alright, so the MTA, of course, accepted the recommendations of a panel of the engineering experts that determined a complete closure of the L train tunnel is unnecessary. This report, which followed weeks of extensive review and analysis by the deans and faculty of the Columbia University and Cornell University engineering schools, presents a series of innovative engineering methods to streamline the required repair work and limit impact on L train service, which provides 400,000 daily rides. Work could be completed on nights and weekends only, with a single tube providing continued service in both directions during work periods. The plan has been presented to and reviewed by the MTA, and it's been confirmed that the report's goals are achievable within a 15 to 20 month time frame. The MTA still plans to implement additional subway service where needed, including on the G, M, and 7 trains. So that's good news. They're not going to terminate the extra service that was supposed to start on April 27th. So hopefully that will mean overnights and weekends there will be additional service on the G, M, and 7. Okay, Acting Chairman Fernando Ferrer today said, "We appreciate the dedication and the analysis provided by the group of experts. We have a shared goal in this effort to make sure New Yorkers are subjected to the least possible disruptions as a result of the necessary repair work. With the L project and all of our major projects, we're consistently looking for new and innovative methods, and the guidance and recommendations we have received today will ease our strain on customers and will ensure providing a consistency, reliability service." So we're not really going to read the other quote from Fernando Ferrer, but quickly want to take a look at this. While the new plan eliminates the need of a complete shutdown of the tunnel, L train project rebuilding and improvements will continue as planned to address long-term capacity of the line. This will include constructing new power substations, storm and flooding resiliency measures, and station improvements, such as providing ADA accessibility and other capacity upgrades at the Bedford Avenue station in Brooklyn and the 1st and 6th Avenue stations in Manhattan. Now, the reason why they are doing this, and I'll recap it again, the Canarsie Tunnel back in 2012, which is 1.5 miles long and runs under the East River, is filled with corrosive salt water due to the effects of Superstorm Sandy. As a result, the 100-year-old tunnel sustained critical damage, including the circuit breaker house system and power cables, and the cement bench walls that hold and protect the cables. Crucial repair work was planned to begin in the spring of 2019, which was, of course, the original date of April 27th, including the laborious and time-consuming process of removing by hand and replacing all 32,000 feet of bench wall, as well as 126,000 feet of power cable and 176,000 feet of communications cable inside the bench wall. This work would require a complete shutdown of L train service throughout the tunnel for 15 months. If you don't remember Governor Cuomo, back in December, they had an expert review team to do a final review, and of course they came to this decision that it was unnecessary to close the tunnel for 15 months. by just closing the tunnel overnights and on weekends. So they have pretty much interesting recommendations. New power and control of the system design, implement ranking system. So I'm not really going to read this, but as you see here, interesting what they recommend doing. Yay! Look at that. More. This is what I expected today. That's why I'm excited. I am excited to see that they came up with a full-length press release about this. This is exciting. They even came up with the names of the people who took involved in this. So, this is good news. However, I do want to address that Andy Byford was not made aware of this until all of us was aware of this at 1 o'clock. This caught everybody off guard. We didn't expect a big announcement like this today. But, once again, that's good that they are finally coming to their senses and realizing that 5 days a week, you need the service. If you need to do it overnight, you can do it on the weekend, do it. Has to be done. And in fact, they should be starting now. They should not be waiting until April. How about tonight? Or maybe next week? That way maybe you can get the service back on schedule next year or in 2021. I'm going to say this now. If this is not done by 2021, you know who we all have to point the finger at. Andrew M. Cuomo, the governor of New York. That's who we'll have to point the finger at. If this was done wrong, or if this was done on the cheap, or if this causes delays after 2020 or 2021. That being said, that's going to wrap up this video, the third one for today. 2 press releases from the MTA, so I had to read them to you all, of course. That being all said, thank you all for watching. Until the next one, please take care.